Right. Good morning, everyone. Again, welcome to our workshop, Truths and Lies about the COVID visa. Before to start, we have a couple of recommendations. Firstly, be sure your chat box is activated for asking questions. We will solve these ones at the end of the session. Secondly, remember that we will have a raffle draw at the end of this workshop. We have prizes such as e-gift cards, one free consultation, and a hamper from Danforth College, right? Well, our host speakers is Sagir Khan. He has 12 years of experience as a migration agent, and he's gonna explain us why the COVID visa is so important these days. Sagir Khan, welcome to our workshop, and thank you so much for accepting this invitation.
Thank you very much, Angela, for providing me the opportunity to clear many of the misconceptions and many of the rumors that's been going on among the students. And what I will do, I will start with a very short presentation. It's only 4 and 5 pages presentation. Let me screen share. Are you able to see my screen, Angela? So I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think you need to put the first slide of the presentation because you are at the end of the presentation.
Oh, yep, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we just discussed before that unfortunately there are lots of rumors going on among the students, and we thought that it's right topic to discuss so that we are able to address many of those misconceptions and the rumors about the COVID visa. So this visa is actually a temporary visa. Its name is actually Australian government endorsed event visa. So we'll keep on calling a GI visa. So it's so this, I mean, one of those visa where if something happens, just as pandemic, came upon us, so the government just created this temporary visa so that they can manage the workforce, and plus they can assist the applicants to remain lawful in Australia for a short period of time. So having said that, first of all, who this visa is for. So this visa is actually for those overseas nationals who are in Australia. And so there are two streams. One is that people who are going to be employed or who are employed in the critical sector. The critical sector of the industry, for example, if they are working in or they are going to work in the agriculture sector or the aged care or child care or health related services. So the first stream of visa is for those people who are going to be employed or potentially going to be employed or who has a work employment. And the second cohort who are eligible to apply for this visa is the overseas persons who are in Australia, and they are on a temporary visa, obviously. And if their visa is going to expire within 28 days, let's say, for example, if there's some student who has finished his studies and visa is going to expire in 28 days, or the temporary applicants whose visa has already expired, but 28 days has not been lapsed. So it's a very narrow window of time. Like if your visa is expiring within 28 days, or if visa has expired and 28 days has not passed, so then you are eligible to apply for this. And on top of that, if you are not able to apply or not able to eligible to apply for any other visa, then Australian government facilitates you to remain lawful in Australia and apply for COVID visa or a GI visa, we call it subclass 408. Okay, so to make things clear, this visa is available to two types of cohorts. One is the person who are employed are going to be employed, have a job offer in critical sectors, they can apply, or this person's temporary entrants whose visa is going to expire within 28 days or has expired, but 28 days has not lapsed. So then they can apply this visa. Okay, so I will explain further what are the critical sectors. Yeah, so the critical sectors the government has established. So bear in mind that government keep on changing the professions which could be in the critical sector and which professions could not be in the critical sector. As you may have heard the news lately that in the agriculture sector, there was not many fruit pickers available. There were not many people who were willing to go and work in the agriculture sector. So the government included that profession, even if you are doing any handiwork in the agriculture sector, then you are eligible to apply for this visa. So similarly, the other areas are healthcare sector, obviously nowadays very popular, disability care services, food processing, aged care and childcare area. So these are basically the critical sector. As I just mentioned, that there's a first cohort who can apply for this visa. Okay. Yeah. So how long? It's a very pertinent question nowadays. Students ask that if I apply this visa, and how long this visa will last. So this COVID visa actually depends on which stream or the sub-stream you have applied for. If you have a job offer or you are working in a critical sector, which we have just previously mentioned, then you will be eligible to get visa close to or up to 1 year. And if you fall under the second cohort, which is like temporary visa holders and visa expiring within 28 days or has expired and 28 days has not lapsed, then you can apply for this visa. And for those kind of applicants, visa could be 3 months or up to 6 months. So it depends on the case officer's perception, how case officer feels at the time of decision, and what sort of documentation you provide at that time. Okay. Yeah, as we just mentioned that. So validity really vary. As I explained that if you have a job offer, and then it could be 1 year. And for the people who can't just simply fly overseas and they cannot apply any other visa, so then the validity of visa could be 3 months or up to 6 months. Yep. So that's it. That's the basic requirements of the applying this visa. And now we open for questions and answer. If you have any questions, please ask us.
Yes, well, we just received emails with some of the questions. So the first one is if I apply to this visa, I would be able to apply to a different one?
Sorry, Crystal, if you say again, I could not hear you very well.
Sorry. So the first question is, if I apply to this visa, I would be able to apply to a different one? I think, yeah, this person is asking like if he would be able to apply to a different visa
Okay.
once this COVID visa expire.
Okay.
In case that
So-
this person have it.
Yeah, so there could be many scenarios. So if this person is a student, and he is not eligible to, or he cannot apply any other visa, and if his visa is his or her visa is expiring within 28 days, and if that's the scenario, then obviously visa will be granted. And because bear in mind that this visa is the last resort visa. So that means that, you know, you are not eligible to apply any other visa, or you have your circumstances do not allow you to apply any other visa or renew your student visa, just because you have lost a job, you have no funds available. It's not practically possible for you to apply student visa. Then obviously you can apply for this visa. So as I just mentioned that this visa is a last resort visa. So this visa is actually granted on the basis that because you cannot apply any other visa, so that's why we're applying this visa now. But let's say if you apply COVID visa and then after 3 months, you know, when visa is expiring and you want to apply another visa, obviously you can apply another visa. But bear in mind, at that time, the case officer will be thinking it very, very critically and applying the circumstances that, you know, you applied this visa because you were not able to apply any other visa at that time. Okay, so once you have applied for COVID visa and then you want to go back to student visa, the threshold of the grant will be very, very high. So what we suggest is that think 408 or COVID visa or 408 AGI visa, so different names. So think this visa as the last resort, as the government has mentioned.
Okay, Agir. We have a question from the chat. Camilo Bernate is asking if this visa is same as Bridging Visa E.
It is. It's a very good question. Actually, it's not actually a bridging visa E. Bridging visa E is actually a very, very restrictive visa. So by default, when someone applies for, someone do not have any other visa and they apply for bridging visa E, by default, it comes with no work rights and it comes with no study rights. And third, there's a time frame that, you know, when you have applied for bridging visa E and you have mentioned that when you'll be flying overseas, because you have to show the tickets. Okay. But in subclass 408 COVID visa, it's different because if you have a current student visa, your student visa is expiring within 28 days, and you applied for COVID visa, and then once you applied it, you will be on bridging visa A. So that bridging visa A will have the same conditions as your previous visa. Let's say if you are a student, and then your student visa work limitations will apply. That means that you will be able to work. Okay, so it's not exactly as the bridging visa, but thinking in terms of, you know, as I just previously mentioned, that because this is a last resort visa, and then once you have applied this visa and you are granted this visa, and then at some stage let's say 3 months down the line, you want to apply a student visa, then case officer will be really thinking it very carefully, because they will be thinking that how come your circumstances change within 3 months? Now you are able to apply a student visa. So it's very hard. We as a professionals in my industry, people and professionals, they are advising most of their students to not to apply this visa. If they have any other option to apply for those visas. Even applying visitor visa is a better option than applying for COVID visa.
Okay, Sagir, we have another question from the chat. Is Miji Makatimpa is asking, what if I'm just waiting for pre-invitation for 190 visa? I'm eligible to apply for a COVID one, working in aged care as a registered nurse?
Right. If I have got the questions right, so you have applied for your state nomination and waiting for 109, and you are on a bridging visa, and then you want to apply for COVID visa. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, she's saying that is, I'm sorry if it's not she, I offer apologies. It's saying that it's on a 190 visa and is waiting for the invitation.
Right.
So it's asking if it's possible to apply to a COVID visa under this condition, and also is a certified nurse working in a aged care.
Yeah, fantastic. It's a classical case. So if if you as I just previously mentioned, that the first cohort, the applicants who are working in a critical sector, your sector is a critical sector. So if they are working, or if they have a job offer, down the line they will start work. But in your situation, you are working already. So then I would suggest that you apply for COVID visa first. You will get a visa close to 1 year. And in the meantime, you can sort out your state nomination, because you will have enough time. 1 year is enough time. I hope I have answered your question. If I mean, this is a very specific question. If you have any question relating particularly to your case, you can always Crystal is gonna leave our email address. You can always email us, and we'll be happy to assist you and respond you within 24 hours.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to go case by case depending on the profile of the student. Yeah. There is someone else asking, still for the Region Visa E. This person had a visa for 6 months with work rights and is wondering himself if will be able to get another visa, or the possibility is almost 0%.
So if the person has already applied for visa and been granted COVID visa for 6 months, and they want to apply another visa, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, what I understand is he is in the Bridging Visa E and wants to apply again, I suppose, to a COVID visa. Is it right, Camilo?
Yeah, unfortunately, persons on Bridging Visa E, they are unable to apply for COVID visa. As I just previously mentioned, that this visa is only available to very
Excuse me, Sagir, can you hear me? No. We offer apologies to everyone. We are having some issues with the connection with Sagir. Just give us 5 minutes and we will back to you. Thank you.
Angela. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yeah.
He's
Can he
coming.
connect from yours?
Yes, just one second.
Meanwhile, I can say to
Angela-
everyone,
Angela,
hi
could you hear me?
again.
Could
I was
you-
about to say to everyone that this workshop is one of the series we will do a down for every month.
Right.
So we're open to hear
Well,
suggestions for new topics, okay?
my apologies. My apologies.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes happens. All right, we were in the answer of the question of Camilo about the bridging visa E and work rights for 6 months, and then he's wondering if he can change to a COVID visa one.
Yeah, unfortunately, the as I just maybe you may have heard me or not, but a person on a bridging visa E is unfortunately not able to apply for COVID visa. As I just mentioned previously, that bridging visa E is actually a very restrictive visa. There are not many visa applications that you can apply if once you have already been granted bridging visa E. And COVID visa is one of those visas that if you hold bridging visa E, you are unable to apply for COVID visa, unfortunately.
All right. Christelle, you have another question for the people who send emails. Could you
Yes.
please say it?
Yeah, sure. So the second is sorry, can you hear me? Yes? Sorry. So if I had a dependent in my actual visa as a student and I want to apply the COVID visa, it covers the dependent?
It does cover the dependents. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So bear in mind that this visa is actually for two reasons. One, people who can work in the critical sector. And the other is that the people who cannot apply any other visa and is a last resort. And the Australian Home Affairs Department want to keep them lawful in Australia. So yeah, so the main purpose is that the Home Affairs Department first instinct, I would say, is that they don't want an overseas person to be unlawful in Australia. Okay, so yeah, so this is one of those arrangements that the dependents will be able to apply for that. I mean, they'll be included.
Okay, so we have another question here from Virginia Valenzuela. So she said, I am holding a bridging A visa and I am still waiting for a student visa. Just want to ask, why till now my visa has no result yet, as my immigration agent lodged it last May?
There are so many scenarios. I am hearing also there are some applications which were lodged back in February 2020. There are some applications which are still not been decided. So those are my understanding is that those are the people who came on a visitor visa in Australia, and then they applied for student visa. Their application for some reason is being delayed. Rest of the application, if you previously had a student visa in Australia and you applied for another student visa, and then it should not take that long. Nowadays, the applications are being processed within weeks. So again, it's a very particular scenario, particular case. Yeah, if you want to get any further information, you may always email Crystal, and she will explain to you.
Yes, of course.
Oh.
Sorry, we have another one.
Sorry.
So, why this visa was granted for 1 year and now is granted for a short term?
Yeah, again, so as we just previously mentioned that this visa is particularly to deal with the COVID event. So remember when back in March, April, this visa was introduced. At that time, the processing time was a long time, and they were awarding a long visa for long duration. And now I'm hearing that people who are unable to fly overseas, and they are not working in a critical sector, they are applying now. The visas are being decided very quick. I mean, a week or week to 4 weeks time. Visa is being decided, and visa is being granted for a very short period of time. So it's like a sort of a moving situation, depending on how the COVID is impacting in rest of the world, how it is impacting in Australia. So government keep on changing their goalpost depending on the circumstances in Australia and the world.
Right. Is all you have, Cristel? Or you have
No, we
question?
have two more. So here they're asking, so if I'm in this visa, how the insurance will work? Sorry.
Yeah, so it's actually recommended that once you apply for COVID visa, you must hold, they call it overseas workers health insurance. So it's similar to the insurance which is applicable on a sponsorship visa, or the students who has done their degree and later on applied for graduate visa. So it's a similar kind of insurance that you need to have. So yeah, so it's a matter of insurance companies. So there are budget, packages. So obviously there'll be less provisions, and if you buy their premium services, they may include the premium services. So it's a matter of your insurance policy relating to the insurance company.
Okay, and the last one is, this visa will give me full rights?
Yeah, look, different scenarios again. I mean, if you had a visa, if you had a substantial visa at the time when you lodged this visa application, okay, let's say for example, if you had a student visa which has not expired, but within 28 days and you applied for a COVID visa, then obviously you have a work rights. So work rights exactly this as the conditions which apply on a student visa application. But this is for the people who cannot fly out and applying for COVID visa, and they don't have a job in a critical sector, and they apply within 28 days. So then, during bridging visa time, they can work. But once this visa has been granted, there's no work rights for this cohort. So the work rights is only available to the people who work in a critical sector. And at the time of visa lodgement, you have to provide the job offer or the work experience or any other employment evidences. But if you applied, so bottom line is if you applied because you cannot fly out and you want to remain in Australia, you have no other option to apply any other visa. And then during the bridging visa time, your previous conditions will apply. But once this visa has been granted, then you have no work rights by default. If you want to work, you have to request for the work rights. So that's a different application.
Okay,
Okay,
Sagir.
thank you.
The last question from the chat is Shak Baik Mirza is asking, I applied a student visa after my 485 expired now. I'm on bridging visa. Can I apply COVID visa?
No, unfortunately, because this, I mean, you can apply this visa if you have a job in a critical sector. Okay, so that's one side of the requirement. But if you think that you don't want to apply for student visa, but for some reason you cannot continue student visa and you want to apply COVID visa, you cannot apply, unfortunately, because you have, remember I previously mentioned that this visa is only for those those applicants whose visa is expiring within 28 days or has expired within 28 days, your substantial visa. We are not talking about the bridging visas. So your substantial visa must be, 28 days to expiry and has not lapsed. So in your situation, unfortunately, you cannot apply while you are on a bridging visa A, you cannot apply COVID visa.
All right, Sagir. Thank you so much for the whole information you have been saying today. Hopefully